Hello friends and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talk. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. And this is part of the Excel tutorial series, and in this video we'll be learning how to copy objects in Excel. The first one is copying all the text in a cell. Okay, I will just put it in here. Copy all the text in a cell. Okay, as you know, in Excel, each individual, object here, container of text is called a cell. It is identified by a cell address. In this case, it's A1, E1. Okay, that's cell. So the first is copy all the text in a cell. What I mean? What I mean is that everything that is found in this cell, let's say if we look at this cell, I will highlight it in yellow. It is in address B4, column B, row 4. I would like to copy all the contents of this cell to another location. So what I would do is put my focus. I will click my mouse on this cell right now, B4, and then do a Control-C, copy that, and then I will click on my preferred destination cell. It could be here or in another sheet. That's also possible. Let's say I want to paste it here. I will Control-V, press key combination of Control and V to paste it. Sorry, do it again. Control-C, Control-V. Okay, so we have copied all the text that is found in this cell to another cell in another destination. Okay, so that is copying all the text in a cell. The second we're gonna do is copy some of the text in a cell. What do I mean? Let's just say give me a second. Copy some of the text in a cell, meaning not everything. If let's just say if we were to look at this cell over here, Juan Miguel, I only wanted to copy a certain part of it. Let's just say Juan, not the whole thing. So I could do a double click in this cell, and then you will see the cursor, and then you can now select the only part of the value or text that you want to copy, and then you do a Control-C or edit copy, and then you go to your destination cell or even in a different sheet, and then you paste. Okay, the other way, again, we are doing copying some of the text in the cell, not the whole value of the cell. Let's just say the other way to do this is once you click on the cell that you are wanted to copy partly, you go to the formula bar. You can also do that, and then you can do the copying from there. Okay, I can highlight it with my key or with my mouse. I can do Control-C, and then same thing, I can paste it here. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is this. Copy the value, not the formula in a cell. What do I mean? Let's just say you have a formula here. I will do an auto sum here and then enter. I will set it in bold, give it some highlight. Maybe this, something, let's say this, and then put some borders around it. Okay, so now if I click on this field 116, it's actually a formula field. If you click on that and you look at the formula bar or formula field, formula bar, you can see some C2, the cell address, to C11, meaning this is a summation of the values of the fields ranging from C2, which is here, all the way down to C11. That's the meaning of that. Now, what I wanted us to learn in this part of the video is how to copy a value and not the formula, because in this case, this is a formula. If you click on 116, in the formula bar, it shows a formula. Whereas if you click on other fields, there is no such formula, right? It's just the value itself that you're seeing, but here you see the formula, not 116. So what I mean is, if you wanted to copy the value of 116 and not the formula, you would do some other step. Let's say, because if you will do the usual way of copying, you'll see what happens. I put my mouse here and then I do a Control C to copy. When I put in some destination field, a cell, and I do a paste, see, it's an error because it's trying to do a similar computation of summing up the values above it. Okay, but there is none to be summed up above it, right? So it becomes an error. So what you see, if I click on this field, it's actually not a value, but a formula, sum, but since there are no values, numeric values to be summed up above it, then it becomes an error. So it's a problem. To get around it, what you will do is you will actually copy the value, not the formula, the value of a cell. So this is a formula. You see, it's sum C2, C11. If I wanted to copy the value 116 and not the formula, I will do Control C as usual. But once I paste to some destination here or even another sheet, I will do a different kind of pasting. Right click, and then you see your paste special. You click on the 1, 2, 3 icon, which is values. You're pasting values. So you see, instead of pasting the formula, instead of trying to paste the formula, it has pasted the value itself, 116. And as a result, it doesn't give any errors. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 we're gonna do is this. Copy a single row, also in Excel. So as you know, the vertical elements in Excel are called columns, and the horizontal ones are called rows. So we're gonna learn how to copy a single row. It can be any row at all, any row that you want to copy. So when we say copy the row, it means you're not just copying 1 or 5 fields, but all the values of the row all the way to the end. You see, this is the last. The row is all the way up to the column XFD, which is the maximum that you can get in this version of Excel anyway. So if I wanted to copy the whole row of, let's say, row 8, okay, don't be confused. The 7 is just the employee ID, but it's actually at row 8. How do I know? If I click on that cell, the cell address is A8, meaning it's at column A, row 8. So at row 8, if I wanted to copy the whole row, I can just click on the row number itself, not here, but on the row number. I click, and then I do a Control C as usual. And then I go to my destination where I wanted to paste it. It could be in the same sheet or it could be in another sheet. I could also create a new sheet and paste it there. Control V is there, right? So it is the way to copy the whole single row, just a single row, okay? Okay. The next is, let's go to the index, to the lessons. The next we're gonna learn is how to copy multiple rows. Okay, multiple means more than one. So if, let's say we're here and I wanted to copy multiple and adjacent rows. Okay, let me go here. Adjacent, multiple adjacent rows. Okay, so I wanted to, adjacent means beside each other, okay, or next to each other. So if you wanted to copy multiple adjacent rows, it's like 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I do, I would click on the row number, and then you can either hover with your mouse also. That's also okay. You see, I click my mouse here and then hover my mouse down on. It's also okay. And I can just do a Control C to copy as usual. I go to my destination location row, or either also in another sheet as possible. I go there and then I Control V, press Control V. So it has copied, pasted the multiple rows that I've selected earlier, right? Okay, that is copying multiple adjacent rows that are next to each other, okay? Although the other way you could do is, you could do a shift. Okay, click on this row number and do a shift. Shift here, shift here. Something's covering. Okay, shift. Okay, you can do that. Okay, the other we're gonna do is copying multiple non-adjacent or non-adjacent rows, meaning rows that are not next to each other, not contiguous. Okay, so what you can do, let's say you want to copy rows 1, 3, and 5. The key you will use, which I think many of you are familiar with already in Windows, is the use of the Control key. So let's say I wanted to copy rows 2, 4, and 6, for instance. So I will do this. I click on the row number 2 and then press my control key and click on 4, row 6. And then I can do a right click, or I can do a control C. All of them come alive, the ones I selected, and then I go to my destination location where I wanted to paste these 3 rows. So it could be in the same sheet or in another sheet. I could do a paste. And they will be pasted right next to each other, contiguous or adjacent. Okay, that is copying non-adjacent or non-contiguous rows. Okay. The next we're going to learn is this. Copying a single column. Okay, so this is a column, the vertical element in Excel column. Okay, so let's copy a single column. Let's go to this same sheet again. Let me get this out of the way. Let's just copy the whole column of B, column B. So I will click on the column letter B and then do a control C to copy that. And then I go to my destination, preferred destination column. Could be in the same sheet or in another sheet, and then just do a control V. Okay, you have copied the entire column. So if it has values all the way to the very bottom of this sheet, which is 1,048,576, then it will be able to copy that as well. Okay. Next is copying multiple columns. Okay, multiple means not a. Copy multiple columns, meaning more than one. Okay, so there are again 2 flavors to this. One is adjacent, meaning beside each other. So let's just say I'll delete this. I wanted to copy columns A and B. So same thing as what we did for the rows. I will click my mouse on A and then hover it, roll it across the other columns that I want. If I wanted to copy all these 3, I can just click on A, column A, and then hover my mouse, roll my mouse across. And with that, I have prepared to copy the multiple columns, and then Control C, that copies it into the clipboard, and then I can go to my destination column. It could be in another sheet, and then just paste it there. Okay? That's copying multiple adjacent columns. Now, the other is copying multiple non-adjacent columns. Okay, again, come back here. So you know what I mean by non-adjacent, not beside each other. So maybe I wanted to copy columns A and C. I'll click on column A, the letter, and then I press on the control key, CTRL, and then I press on the other column I want to copy, which is C, and then do a control C. Copies that to the clipboard. I go to my destination, could be in the same sheet or different, and then I do a paste. And then they'll be appearing there beside each other. Okay, so that's copying multiple non-adjacent columns. The next we're gonna learn is copying a sheet. So as you know, in Excel, if you have seen my fundamentals, my earlier videos, I've told you the column, the row, this is a cell, and then you have a sheet. There's also a cell range, and then there is a sheet. These are called sheets, and they are identified by sheet names. In this case, this sheet is called lessons. The other one is just the default sheet 2, sheet 3, etc. So if I wanted to copy a sheet, I would click on the sheet tab here, the sheet itself, the sheet name, and I can do a right click and click on move or copy. After that, I would click on this checkbox, create a copy. And take note, the name of the sheet I'm copying is lessons. So when I click on OK, see what happens. It creates a new sheet called lessons, parentheses 2. Okay, which means this is a copy of lessons. And it's up to you now to rename this sheet. Okay, but the point is we have learned how to copy the whole sheet. Now, next is this. Copy multiple sheets. Okay, again, we have 2 flavors for that. Copy multiple adjacent sheets. Okay, so let's just say I wanted to copy, let me remove this for a moment. Copy sheet. Copy multiple sheets. No. Copy multiple sheets is here. Okay. No. Let me remove this. Okay. Okay, copy multiple sheets, adjacent. I wanted to copy the one called lessons. I'll call this, let's say I'll call this one. I wanted to copy the multiple adjacent sheets, lessons, and the one called one. So I will click on lessons, the first sheet I'm interested in, and then I will click on shift, the shift key, and then click on one. Okay, so you can see both of them are now in white. And then you can do a right click and copy, move or copy. Again, at this dialog, click on the create a copy checkbox and click OK. And for sure, it creates for you a duplicate of those two sheets you have selected. So, and for you not to be confused, it adds parentheses 2 beside the name, the original name. So the sheet name lessons has now been reproduced, and the new one is called lessons 2, and the sheet called 1 has now been reproduced with a name called 1 parentheses 2, and these are indeed copies of the ones you've selected earlier. So the next is non-adjacent. Let me get this out of the way. Yep. And then the next is learning how to copy non-adjacent multiple sheets. So let's, in this case, I only have one choice, lessons and sheet 2. They are not beside each other. So I can do I can use the same key I used before in copying other objects in Excel. One is, which is the control key. So I will click on the first sheet I'm interested in, is this lessons, and then I will click or press control key right now, and then press or click sheet 2. Okay, they're both selected, they're both in white now, in a white background at the sheet name. And then right click and then do a move or copy. And then here, do the same thing, click or check or tick the create a copy checkbox, and then click OK. And it also copied those two non-adjacent sheets and gave it not really subscript, but in the name it appended parentheses to the names of these two newly copied things. Okay, so I think that's it. We covered everything. Taking a recap of this thing, we have learned a few things, a number of things on how to copy stuff, how to copy items or objects in Excel. First is copying all the text in Excel. Second is copying some of the text in Excel in a cell. Third is copying a value and not a formula in a cell. Number 4 is copying a single row. Fifth is copying multiple rows, of which we have two versions of that, adjacent multiple rows and non-adjacent multiple rows. And then copying a single column, and then how to copy multiple columns, of which we also have two versions of it, copying multiple adjacent columns and multiple non-adjacent columns. And then we also learn how to copy a sheet, as well as to copy multiple sheets, of which we also have two versions of it. This kind of learning, copying multiple adjacent sheets and copying multiple non-adjacent sheets. Okay, I guess we've learned a mouthful from this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do click subscribe and click the bell and spread the word. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next video.